The close range meta just got turned on its head after the most recent round of nerfs, where the Static and the Superi both got their TTK practically ruined, making them mid of the pack SMGs at best. But since a lot of the other options in the SMG category are pretty underwhelming too, we actually need to look elsewhere at different categories to find the new close range meta. Over in the assault rifle category, you'll find the BP50 with the conversion kit, which for the best part has an almost 10% faster TTK than everything else you'll go up against, including every SMG in the game, making a far more appealing option. And given that it now takes SMG ammo instead of AR, this makes it an even better option too. Now, the BP50 isn't going to break any records when it comes to mobility, but that doesn't really matter when you can just delete your enemies even if they shoot first, regardless of what they're using. Now, let's move on to the best attachments, as that has changed from when this was floating around the meta previously. Moving on to the attachments. For the muzzle, we are going to be taking the Quartermaster suppressor. Yes, look, previously people did use things like the Zen 35 compensated flash hider, and yes, this doesn't impact your sprint to fire speed by as much, but the side-to-side recoil on this weapon is quite bad when you get in the conversion kit on, whereas this kind of like nails it down by quite a lot. I mean, obviously this is without the conversion kit, which we'll move on to next. Let's just quickly whack that on so we've got a bit of an idea here. But this is obviously what turns it into an SMG. So this is absolutely essential, but does block out a lot of different attachments like magazine, underbarrel, barrel, stock, and comb. Now, look, we've already got a 60 round mag here, as you can see down here. So that doesn't really matter. Let's quickly take this off so you can just have a quick look what it's like. As you notice, there's a lot of side to side. So hence why you do need, well, basically the Quartermaster kind of solves a lot of issues there for what you need. Then moving on to the ammunition type, look, we do need to extend out its damage range, as you can see here, it's only got out to 12 meters, and to be honest, this weapon does have its damage drop off pretty hard when it falls off past that point, so you do need to extend this out as far as possible. So you do need to take the high grain rounds here. Then moving on to the rear grip, essentially what we're doing here is looking to boost out that sprint to fire speed. Look, the tack stance spread I'm not too bothered about, and yeah, basically we're just looking at sprint to fire speed here, so that's minus 12%, which is really, really useful, which should just make it a little bit more mobile. As mentioned, look, this isn't going to win any awards for mobility on this weapon, but what you can do is try and make it as good as possible. Now for the laser, there's a couple of ways to go about this. Personally, I like to use a Kimura RYL33 laser light. Look, I can understand a lot of people not liking this because it does give you a flashlight and a laser visible when you're ADSing, but the way I like to use this weapon isn't like creeping around corners, because ultimately I like to take the advantage and play a bit more aggressive. And look, this gives you minus 20% on sprint to fire speed. Look, your general mobility here, sprint speed 5.8 meters a second, 7.1 meters a second here, and movement speed 5.1 here. This isn't the fastest SMG in the game, but you're not going to get that. And look, you don't really want this because it actually ruins your hip fire spread max, so it's really not worth having. And then with the Pro Sapphire cylindrical laser, it makes your laser visible at hip, which isn't really ideal. If you don't want to laser whilst ADSing, then yes, this is actually a really good option, but personally I just feel like this gives so much more than what this offers. The other option I was looking at is a VLK laser 7mW is really good, and there obviously are a couple of options. There aren't any lasers visible, and really depends what you're looking for, but in reality what we're looking at here is a great, well balanced weapon that actually, I mean, the flashlight isn't as bad as it sounds. I think it sounds a lot worse than it is. And this obviously just absolutely beams. Obviously, you're going to struggle at that 20-meter range anyway, but it still can shoot straight enough at that point. So that's the overall build here, guys. And what I am pairing it with it at the moment is the BAL 27, or you can stick on the Palermo 762, and this is the loadout I'm using for that. This is basically a lot more mobile, offering you way better ADS speed here, as you can tell, and good sprint to fire speed, so it's not too bad. Obviously, it's a bit slow and sluggish, but in reality, that's what we're using. So yeah, appreciate you guys dropping by. If you did enjoy the video, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll make sure I see you in the next one. And I've got some exciting stuff coming out on the 26th of this month, so make sure that you keep your eyes peeled for that. Really, really excited to be sharing some content with you guys there.